Sorry about that. This is a Hydra Hut, and this is DC / Hanna-Barbera's Flash and Speed Buggy. Sorry about that. So Scott Lobdell's doing the writing. Brett Booth is doing all the pencils, and that's honestly the main reason I got this, is because Brett Booth is an amazing artist. Then we got like 6 people doing his fucking inks and colors, because Booth does insane lines. There's like levels of artists in the comic industry, and I'm not trying to say that any one artist is better than any other, but you definitely have the guys that are like master level of anatomy, where everything is very realistic, like Brett Booth, Ethan Van Sciver. And you have guys that are a little bit more, I guess you could almost say, comic oriented, where they're following more like Kirby's Fake Anatomy, which even Booth and Sciver do. And then you get slightly more cartoony and more animated looking, like let's say Dan Mora, for instance. He does Klaus, the art on Klaus, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He's a fantastic artist. His art style looks kind of like it was really like he based his style around Disney, especially his women, whereas these are all very more realistic, or in my mind, more what a comic should look like. Anyway, I'm rambling about something stupid and probably not making a lot of sense. I mainly got this because of Brett Booth. Speed Buggy was never my favorite Hanna-Barbera cartoon. Not because I have anything against him or the cartoon. It's just I only really ever saw him in team-ups where he was going along with Scooby and the Gang, or teaming up with Josie and the Pussycats, or something like that. I never really saw much of his solo stuff, so I'm not super familiar with him. Got Jabberjaw in the background. And the reason I didn't get the other Hanna-Barbera, because there was 3 of them out today, or well, Wednesday. There was this one, there was Black Lightning and Hong Kong Phooey, and then there was Jabberjaw and Aquaman. I almost got the Jabberjaw one because I really, really like him. I really don't have an excuse for why I didn't. But the main reason I didn't get them all is because they're $5 a piece. So that would have been $15 for the 3 of them. And while that isn't terrible, they're not always great. Like, okay, Batman and Elmer Fudd by Tom King. In my opinion, that was Tom King's best writing. That was a fantastic book. Lobo and the Roadrunner. I'm blanking on who wrote that one. Bill something. And he was a crazy leftist, and when I followed him on Twitter, I couldn't keep following him because he was such a fucking douche. But that was very well done. I loved that one. Some of the other ones I haven't really liked. I just didn't think they handled the Hanna-Barbera characters properly, or well at all. But some of them were really good. So I took a risk with this, mostly because I didn't care if it was good or bad. I was buying it for the Brett Booth art. It was actually very good. The way they handled... so this is basically like the prequel story, or the introduction story to how Speed Buggy became Speed Buggy. And it's cool. Basically start out with typical Wally West. He's the Flash that we're following here, doing his narration about being the fastest man alive. I'm going to go ahead and say that this isn't Scott Lobdell's best writing. I would say his stuff on Red Hood is way better written. But this could just be the fact that this is how Wally West's character talks. Wally West has never been my Flash, so I'm not super familiar with him. But he kind of talks like a millennial douchebag, and that was annoying me for a good portion of this. Overall, though, it is a great comic. This fucking art is phenomenal. I love Booth stuff. But look at what I'm talking about. Penciler, Brett Booth. Inkers, Norm Ratman on a bunch of pages. Mark Irwin on a bunch of pages. Mark Deering on a bunch of pages. Matt Banning on a bunch of pages. John Livesay on a bunch. And then for colors, we got Andrew Dalhouse and Pete Pentazis. That's insane. There's so many people keeping up with Brett Booth's pencils. It's insane. So So I'm not sure why this building was attacking him, but he's basically fighting up a large monster when all of a sudden a random dude in a buggy pops into view. There's also a lot of fourth wall breaking in this. I don't know if that's normal for Wally West or not. It's kind of annoying myself. Deadpool's burned me out on the fourth wall break, as well as all of Marvel has burned me out on breaking the fourth wall. That wall is there for a reason. Most of y'all don't have the credentials to be breaking through it, so stop. Anyway, while he's fighting this giant cyber building, now this buggy randomly shows up with some dude. Turns out the buggy is using the Speed Force. Obviously, the Flash isn't totally stoked about that because of all the stuff that's happened with the Flashpoint, and pretty much everybody but the Flashes who uses the Speed Force eventually screws with time. So he's got a good reason to be worried about this. Eventually, though, he talks to the guy after they defeated the building, and they go back to his shop. Not shop. I guess technically his secret lab. Of course, he's very humble about the fact that it's like super advanced, but he's like, oh no, just what I could scrounge up. I'm pretty sure. I think that is a shout out to the Josie and the Pussycats band, or the band that travels with Jabberjaw. And that sorry, I got distracted by the background stuff. So as he's talking to him, he finds out that this guy was one of the original founders of S.H.I.E.L.D. He left for whatever reason. You have to read that to find out why. And basically his pride and joy right now is this buggy and his ability to travel the Speed Force. And he wants Flash to help him test it, because Flash is the only person that really knows what he's doing with that. And the guy keeps trying to reassure Flash that, look, it's not a big deal. This is safe. I'm a scientist. Everything's going to be all right. Flash really, really doesn't want him doing this. But after talking with his woman, he decides that he'll give it a chance because he'd rather be there in case something goes wrong than leave the guy to his own deal. One thing I noticed about this dude, kind of looks like old Tony Stark. Probably an accident. So, what I really liked about the story, though, is how they tie the speed buggy in to the people that ride the speed buggy, if you're familiar with Hanna-Barbera. So, and that's what I meant by this being like an introductory story. And I don't want to really ruin it for you, but this is our scientist's daughter. She's a mechanic with all of her friends, who we can assume build race buggies. And they're talking about her dad, basically, and she mentions that she hasn't seen her dad in a long, long time. Her dad doesn't care about her, and that's just the best she's had to give up on any chance of them being a family. Of course, her dad is outside listening, because he was going to go back and try and make amends, because he's pretty sure that there's a good chance he'll die when he tests this buggy. He hears what she said, and he realizes that as much as he loves her, it's selfish of him to try and make amends right before dying, right before he's most likely going to die. So he just leaves. He'd rather her hate him in peace than dip back into her life just to destroy it again. Which is noble. I feel a lot of people would consider that stupid, and you always have somebody in the popcorn gallery like, just talk to him. But it's a matter of pride, and it's a matter of doing what he thinks is best. So he just accepts the fact that his new child is this buggy. He knows it'll never fill the void in his life, but he's going to do what he can because he thinks it's the best thing for his daughter. And that's noble, which is good. So I'm just going to go ahead and basically stop telling you about what happens now, because everything after that is pretty much going to ruin the plot, twist, and the story for you. I definitely recommend this book. We bring back some old villains. We also get a reverse speed buggy and a speed demon buggy. And the reverse speed buggy says everything in reverse. So beep beep instead of beep beep. it's kind of funny, and it's over the top, and it's very, very, very The Flash. And man, is the art fantastic. Yeah, I definitely recommend this. I'd say it has, the story-wise, it's got a slow start, but it picks right up, and the art is absolutely amazing. So if for no other reason, you should be getting it for that. I'd say it's worth the $5. They do a good job to the Speed Buggy legacy. They treat Hanna-Barbera well. And again, the art, oh my god. But yeah, definitely recommend this, if for nothing else, so you can see how they handle Buggy and teaming up with his team. Very well done. So, I'm going to say that's about all, guys. Also, I don't know why it's rated T for teen. It was a very, very PG story, except for a little bit of violence. And I'm not going to get into why I disagree with ratings in general. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hail Hydra, baby.